The real deal.
That's right. So they put the nerds together.
Yeah, the two reprobates.
Now the circle is complete.
Exactly. I have a question for both of you. This has come up a little bit more for Karl from the fans, but you as well. It's a weird fan concern that I want to get out there. People have looked at the marketing of this movie, and it's all Chris and Zach and Zoe. And some people are like, Star Trek's about the big three. And some people are saying, where's McCoy? Where's Scotty? And do you feel that McCoy is still part of the big three? And do you feel that, as Scotty, do you feel that Scotty and McCoy are getting their due that they traditionally would have gotten?
I think we do in the movie, absolutely. I think that the marketing is a different beast in a way. And, the fact is, the film is marketed in a certain way, and that's understandable. We do have our character posters, and that's all out there. But, I think the film speaks for itself when it comes to that. And
do you feel the same way?
Yeah, look, I mean, the great thing about what JJ's done is, every character has their moment to shine, and that's certainly, true in the film. And, I'd also, I would argue that this is very early on in the formation of the crew as we know and have come to love in the original series, and that triumvirate. You get to see the very sort of beginnings of that in this, and I know what you're saying. I know what the concern is, and I think on a forward-going basis that we have to be vigilant to make sure that it's respected.
We had fans submit questions, and I've got one for both of you guys from Maggie in Washington, D.C.
Hey, Maggie.
And she asks, as fans yourselves, were there any moments for you in this movie to offer suggestions, changes, or anything to your characters or to the movie that you thought would be more fitting for fans?
Yeah, JJ's always very up for that, particularly knowing that Karl and I are fans of the original series and have a little, if not a lot, of Star Trek knowledge. And sometimes things come up and you suggest. Often I would sort of put forward little Scotticisms just to make sure that Scotty's sort of ethnicity was intact, and JJ would grade that on a level of whether the audience could understand it or not, and then I would be allowed to say it if he thought it was.
You upped your Scottishness in this one a wee bit, don't you think?
Well, I managed to get in "Hud on wee man," and I get to say "we," but I have to explain what "we" means. Yeah, I did because I kind of felt like I kind of wanted to, I have a Scottish family, and I wanted to represent hard this time.
And you got a little bit more irascible, I almost feel like. You're upping the irascibility of McCoy, I think.
Yeah, to an extent, but there's also, quite a few beats where you get to see, I think, the warmth within that. And certainly, in that third act towards the end, obviously without, giving away spoilers, when you get to see, how frantically Bones works to do what he does and how much it means to him, I think that's real. That's a really kind of a wonderful side to the character.
So, I've got a question just for you. You're in a weird position right now. You're part of the Star Trek franchise. You are one of the world's biggest Star Trek nerds, a huge fan of J.J. Abrams. How do you feel about J.J. going off to do a Star Wars movie and what that might do to the next Star Trek movie?
Well, one of the first things I did when I found out JJ was taking on Star Wars was to email him and say, hey, don't forget us, kind of thing. Just as a knee-jerk reaction, and I got a lovely email back saying, of course not. JJ's far too committed to this universe to ever let it go. JJ also works best when he's doing 100 things at once. So even if he doesn't direct the next film, even if he hands it over to what will only be a brilliant director, because he wouldn't entrust it to anyone else, he will still be involved as a producer, as he was on Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol, which is a bad robot production and smacks of JJ, and had Brad Bird at the helm, who was an incredible director. So I'm excited. If it means that we might even get to make the film slightly sooner than we thought, So
say a little bit more of that?
No, well, I mean, if JJ's off doing Star Wars, it means that we don't have to wait for him to do Star Wars and then do Star Trek. This is me hypothesizing, I hasten to add. But you never know, it might not. It might be less than 4 years. We might get it out for the 50th year anniversary, which would be good.
That'd be wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that it? So great.
Thank you very
You
much.
guys were both
Thank you.
brilliant.
Glad you enjoyed it. Yeah, it's
I saw.
fun.
Thanks for tweeting.